So service virtualization is a technique that enables organizations to simplify their test environment. One of the classic issues with test environments is all the dependencies that do exist between the systems that you're testing and legacy systems, package applications, third-party systems. And that creates a tremendous burden in terms of creating a test environment. So what service virtualization enables organizations to do is to simulate those environments for the purpose of testing. That has a few consequences. Obviously, we can dramatically reduce the cost of test environments, but also we can create those environments in a very flexible way. We can create sandboxes for testers to test, to do more testing in parallel. And so we are essentially enabling people to do testing more cheaply or in a more cost-effective way. And at the same time, we're enabling organizations to be more agile. So one of the typical challenges for Agile teams in general is that it's actually very easy for developers to put out new features. And what we see is really this disconnect between the velocity, the rate and pace at which developers are able to produce software and the rate and pace at which testers can actually test that software. So one of the typical friction points is really that developers are able to produce new features very quickly, and testers, because they are struggling with setting up these very complex test environments, are spending a lot of time configuring test environments, and ultimately are 2-3 iterations or sprints behind developers, and that creates a lot of friction between testing teams and development teams. So what we're enabling with service virtualization is really the ability to stand up test environments in a matter of minutes as opposed to waiting weeks, which significantly pushes testing earlier, because now testers can start testing pretty much within the same iteration, and when the iteration finishes, you can really claim that you're done. Pretty much any industry will benefit from that. If you look at the types of systems that organizations are building today, so if I use financial sector, for instance, in the financial space, organizations have been using layers of technologies, from the mainframe to client server to J2E, .NET, SOA applications. And pretty much all of these technologies are still powering today's applications. So when you are using your mobile banking application, in reality you are likely going to have some mainframe being supporting that application. What we're enabling with service virtualization is really for these organizations to simplify their test environments, for instance, in the financial space. But if you look at the energy and utility space, more and more we are starting to deploy smart meters, smart grids, and you see the same complex issues of all these systems interconnected, and these companies actually need to simplify their test environments so that they can test a smart meter independently from the grid. So really, the service virtualization is really a capability that we see applicable really across all industries. There are multiple implications. I think there is one dimension of multi-channel, which is that today, when we look at the types of services that many organizations are trying to deliver, they actually cut across a number of different channels. By that we mean we can deliver services through a mobile application. Organizations are exposing a number of services through programmatic interfaces, obviously through web-based interfaces. And at the end of the day, if you want to realize an end-to-end business process, let's say, if I use an example, for instance, you place an order from a mobile phone, then that order is going to make it to maybe a package application like SAP, and then ultimately it's going to be going to a warehouse where maybe someone used an AS400. If you want to test that end-to-end process that cuts across all these technologies, you actually need to be able to support all of these different channels. The different technologies which are being used to actually support that end-to-end business process. The other dynamic around multi-channel applications is, putting simply, today we are trying to deliver value through tablets, mobile phones, web-based interfaces, and we need to be able to support all these technologies to be able to support our customers in testing their applications and systems. So we are really, with GreenHat, we acquired a fantastic service virtualization technology. We strongly believe that we have a leading technology today in the marketplace. But we do believe that, beyond service virtualization, we can start transform the way organizations are actually testing. So we can start focusing on what does it mean to be more agile? What does it mean to really start doing continuous integration and testing and delivery? So the way we've been introducing the GreenHat technology in the rational portfolio is really to transform our portfolio so that we can really support all of these use cases in addition to service virtualization. So what we're announcing at Innovate is really kind of a new portfolio powered by GreenHat. We still have all the capabilities that we used to have with rational functional tester, rational performance tester, but we are trying to merge and mix those technologies to achieve some of the use cases we've discussed around multi-channel, around continuous integration and delivery.
So really a very holistic approach to testing.
Yes, absolutely.